Welcome to the parody where we recount the victims in our favorite movies. I'm Tesla/Chelsea Rose, and today we're looking at The Oder, released in 2018. The Oder is a Roblox movie all about the rising trend of online daters. Instead of just using a normal group of online daters, it instead uses a single Roblox character. This one force can multiply exponentially and basically just forces people to quit the game. It's embodied through a character named Jenna, who has become iconic within the last few years. And if you remember correctly, is a bannable offense on Roblox itself. Her multiplication can happen due to a multitude of factors, even including banning. Although ZeroFix himself is largely attributed to creating the entire thing, it was directed by... oh, fuck. In a bizarre turn of events, the movie's title actually inflicted itself onto the director. If you want to hear me say more about it, go watch the original one's intro. This is a more popular Roblox film, achieving almost 12 million views in the 3 years its 4K version has been released. However, unlike something like The Last Guest, it deserves its popularity, since it's actually a better movie. Like, you know, they were actually prepared for a plot with this. Sure, The Last Guest can be viewed as a more coherent movie, but you can really tell that the first part was merely just going to be that, a first part. Although at times it could probably appear here, this is a much more coherent experience. It also ends with more potential for more installments, which we did get with the Odor Slenders in 2022. I'm glad for Zero that he can make the actual series he wanted to make with this. And I'm also glad that Slenders is still also a good time. Goes to show that you don't really need to take movies seriously in order to enjoy it, you know? But how many kills does it actually lend us? Let's start a Twitter poll and get to the kills. The movie begins in a hallway with a few opening credits newspapers tell us that teens have been quitting Roblox due to a mysterious girl. But not these two, who enjoy hang gliding in their spare time before school. They join the 5 other students at this school and are told to not put their vehicles in the soccer ball field. Kids, we don't want another vehicular manslaughter accident like the one we had last year. In the audience, Zero then spots a random ass girl. The girl's name is Jenna, and she got banned from the other server she was in. I feel like I should mention the character of Jenna as its own separate thing, since it's basically become that at this point. While yes, she was originally made for the movie, it became something else around 2022. Some people were like, hey, what if we made our own experiences around the entire story of like the character? Or, you know, just like fun fan stuff. That somehow then spouted into people actually thinking that Jenna was a real hacker, with stuff like TikTok not really helping. There are also the news of impersonator games of the real Jenna story game from another game that was originally revolved around the Doomsday, with the group of people behind it defending it. Regardless of how it came in modern Roblox culture, it still does have a creepy presence within this first movie. When they get into class, their friend Chad starts levitating. I don't think that falls under safety etiquette, dude. Zero gets distracted by something he sees outside. It's Jenna looking up at him and whispering. Zero falls under the right assumption that she's following him, but viscerally on his friends aren't gonna believe it. This deception is still just movie material, though. After school gets out, Zero forgot something in his locker, so he goes to get it. Wait, whoa, holy shit, did you see that? And whoa, oh my god, what's going on? Yeah, that shit ain't fucking right. He reports his observations to his friend, I guess Pan. Oh, I guess she could also say that about herself. Later that night, Pan, Chad, and Sarah are having an epic dance party at the camp. However, Zero actually comes to terms with the fact that he might be going, whoa, hey, Zero, what's that behind you? Oh, what's that behind that tree? Holy goddamn, she actually is real. She basically has him fooled into a little sense that they're dating. But Zero knows better and says that he doesn't have that much time left. During the weekend, Z had moved to other servers like the bypass capital of the world, but she just followed him there. The entire Jenna thing has been going on for a week, and that's even when she made her account the week before. But that begs the question, what fucking kind of calendar do they have? However, the news only report about teens quitting Roblox. Jenna, I guess, also has the opportunity to tell people to kill themselves. Now! I guess she could do that by making them quit, like this person, please no looking. I guess the quitting was actually due to this other girl named Jennifer. However, Jenna enters the room and they quickly switch it over to cat videos. I guess we could also look at the best magic show in the world and the 5 easy mouse/rat traps. They have a plan after she gets out of the room to trap her, and it's a devious, sinister plan. I guess the plan is just doing a high dive. I guess the other part of the plan was making Pan come into the water with him. Hey, wait, hold on. If they're being kicked by something they can't see, then what's going on here? Ah shit, Jenna was with them! She then just transforms into the sequel. They're on to the science room, and Chad knows how to make them all fly and to make Zero remember Rule A of the Roblox community rules. With the power of Roblox Christ compelling her, Jenna disappears, but also Zero too. A week later, he figured out how to make an alternate account. Chad loves volleyball. Wait, if Z can make an alternate account, that means Jenna can also do that. Turns out they were right. They run behind a cafe and start playing about what they can do. However, the Tremors planning scene wouldn't exactly work without everyone. I guess it could work with a George Lucas special. They let Chad survive, but he just wants to die again. I guess their ultimate plan is just to use a helicopter to get away from this Jenny. Guys, that was not what I meant. Funerals have gotten everywhere at this point, including this Australian guy, a cop, and a break for ads. Pan and Zero, Chad's not here because he quote-unquote sacrificed himself, but there's a few online daters. They needed a car, and conveniently, there was a dealership behind them. They buy one. The people at this new store are definitely weird, so they just have to fit in the best they can. Both of them report the same problem with their respective classes. The students were pretty weird acting. I'm gonna skip over Pan's dream and get to the part where they go to a place. They also catch on to the fact that the people here are acting weird because they're actually online daters. They heard about a lady on the radio who we actually saw earlier, so they scale her entire tower to meet her. They meet the woman and she knows their names. Her name is Annabeth and she knows a lot about the Oder outbreak going on. Zero and Pan are just like her and want this nightmare of an Odor outbreak to end. She's been such an outspeaker about the outbreak because the Odors made her brother quit playing Roblox. As has been shown, the Odors have evolved to change their hair, their eyes, and even their names. Oh shit, that's why they're like that, they're straight!
She really is an OD.
After the talk, they head back to her Odor-filled school and meet Chad. He'd apparently somehow made it out of the situation, but I don't really think that's Chad considering how his face looks. Chad wants the two to follow him, even though second period is almost beginning. Oh, they're heading to the TMNT hideout. Pan wants to head back immediately, but Chad refuses to let her go. But why would Chad make them go down a sewer? Oh, he's trapped them. After all, that wasn't actually Chad, it was just an imitator. Now won't the real Chad please stand up? Please stand up? Please stand up? As is obvious, there are odors galore within this tunnel cave sewer system. Alright, this is just a weird scene. They manage to escape from Hugs in her Daniel Tiger drip and into the janitor's closet. Luckily, they were hidden enough in order for her to get out.
Shut the fuck up, there's a Wanda. That's an Odor.
They remember who Annabeth is and decide to get out of there. They get Annabeth to come out of the radio tower and look at the entire horde of odors. It appears they're running out of time, so they make a, quitting pact?
That just kinda sounds like a suicide pact, but, sure.
I mean, how else are we gonna get to reveal that her name was Annabeth 66525? Luckily, Z remembers his sin as Roblox Christ. And so he alerts every single American in existence about Rule A of the Roblox community rules.
Rule 8 of the Roblox community rules. As a social platform for play, Roblox tries to provide a safe place to meet online friends, play, chat, and collaborate on creative projects. However, this is not the place to look for dating partners. The power of Roblox compels you. The power of Roblox compels you. The power of Roblox compels you.
And with that basic understanding of the Roblox rules, 14 online daters spell their ends, including one that knows and spares the Muffin Man and one that tries to get with two of them but fails.
That sucks.
The day after, it seems like everything's going swell. That went all wrong when Z and Pan were ambushed by all the Jennas and Odors. They performed some sort of Jenna ritual on Pan, and Z and Chad had to switch servers. Chad switched them over to Bloxburg, which should be some sort of a fix. This sciencey doctor guy sees some odors and is like, oh, you know what? Let me just invite these two people over to my laboratory. This is Dr. Mad, and he invented a crown that can control all the odors. He was gonna use the crown to make them stop dating, but one of them was smart enough to steal the crown, so he just went and made another one. He tells them about the Odor King and his army of odors that are hidden across Roblox in order to have the perfect attack time. After telling them about Joe Swanson, who's hanging out in Royale High, some odors are outside Dr. Mad's home. Pan drives a car directly through the door and it sends them into Royale High where Joe is. Alright, who do we got here? Oh, we got Angel Dust's son. Oh, a complete liar. Oh, someone on the LGBTQ plus team, Katie, Kai, and a furry. And then these two come in looking like the most normal people ever. However, it's Katie that comes in assistance with helping him find Joe. She takes him over to his dorm, but he's not in there. Then we get a montage of them just looking everywhere for this Joe. We get a pretty suspenseful scene as well. Chad just thinks of fucking shit, dude. The suspense comes in when he looks under the door and an Oder is looking directly at him. Since then, Pan has apparently followed them there, so they go into their own dorm, which they have now. Turns out, Chad has actually found Joe, who saw them trying to get into his room earlier. I guess Dr. Mad wanted these two to meet Joe just because he had a video of an outbreak he had. I guess the outbreak going on is just a V6 just standing around in this hallway. This is like a shitty 3 AM video. However, it does have the puncher of them actually running away from some odors. While Joe got all of the ordeal all alive and stuff, we can't exactly say the same about his 5 friends. Said friends had sacrificed themselves. Since we saw all 5 of them in video form, I'm gonna add them to the list. They just need his help since Pan is the Odor Queen now. Luckily, Joe had exactly what they needed, a necklace that could be worn with the crown to reverse everything. At this point, the guidelines really don't work anymore, so they just have to take it into their own hands. After Joe leaves, Chad wakes up in a pink bed. Turns out both Z and Chad have been woken up by Katie, who's telling them something about Joe. But that something can wait for another time since they have to go get him. She leads both of them to behind a waterfall where a ritual is taking place converting her. I guess since it goes successfully, she's technically turned into an Odor with full control over the Odors. I don't know, count her anyways. When Katie orders the attack, both Chad and Z find out they can fly into server, so they just do just that. The two then split up and hide in separate locations. Even with some glaringly obvious signs, they don't catch both of them. That's until both Chad and Z wake up in chairs in Robloxian high school. They're actually captured by the Odors and Pan and Jenna walk in. They're playing a game of hide and seek where they only have 2 minutes to hide from the heavily enhanced Seekers. The Seekers have 24 hours to find any of them, and if the survivors survive, they get turned to Seekers anyways. To get out, they try the server switching maneuver, but it doesn't work. We're playing this game with a few other regular players, which includes Joe. Both of them hide under a boardwalk where a person named Mary is also hiding. Even though the 2 minutes was more like 2 hours, the Seekers have been released. The first person to die in this sequence is Lily as she gets caught by an Odor. Oh, and Pam was right, these things can run fast. An extremely bro-looking guy named Jake has the bright idea to hide in a bunch of boxes, or crates. Well, for him, that was obviously a crate mistake. Next up, we follow Joe, so you know that guy's about to die when he walks into a neighborhood. Obviously, the bedding was inadequate, or else he would have gotten comfy. And with the threat of Odors about, well, yeah, that basically dispels Joe's end. While Z and Chad are hiding, Mary doesn't exactly have the best luck. So this is basically what happens. She just disappears off screen, so I'm just gonna add her. They've survived for so long, it's apparently the next morning. After a very close encounter, he confirms the time and confirms that Pan is still under Odor control. He and Chad have themselves prepared since they have jetpacks. However, shit goes south immediately and Z's jetpack stopped working. The plot says that Z should lift, so Chad gives him his jetpack. With one final goodbye and persuasion, Z leaves. As Chad watches Z jetpack away, he's the last person of the hide-and-seek game to be found. However, this sacrifice will be worth it. Z eventually gets up to the top of the clock tower and makes the crown fall to the ground. With the queen's crown gone, Pan is back to her original state. Z tells Pan everything she didn't know about, and the King Odor comes up with his own jetpack. The King Odor is up here and he looks buff as shit. The King Odor is the strongest of them all since he has the talking abilities. And the ability to launch full-scale attacks on every single Roblox game you all know and love. Since the King Odor very easily finds out that Z won the game of hide and seek, he has a little proposition. He's feeling a bit, well, seekery. Now we're in the full-on Odor apocalypse with basically no one able to stop it. Well, no one except the King Odor himself, who wears the necklace and the crown at the same time. And with that, the 6 Odors we actually see disappearing will only be added to the list. No other Odors, unlike I did last time. And plus, well, versus sequel, what else am I supposed to do? And also, unlike last time, I'm not gonna count the King since he's actually still alive. For the crimes he rolled over, he's gonna be spending a really long time in prison.
You're gonna be here for a long time.
When they get to school next day, we're shocked to find the entire place celebrating them. So maybe the real Odor was the friends we made along the way. So everything seems all good and over, but a mid-credits scene shows that Zero still has a bit of Odor in him. How many people died when they figured out all their Riz was completely depleted? Let's find out and get to the numbers. 34 people died in the Oder, which is 19 less than the version from 2022. The victims consisted of 25 women and only 9 men, giving us another rare ratio for the parody. With a runtime of 66 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 1.94 minutes. I'll give Amethyst Flamethrower to the 14 Odors killed by Rule 8, as it was the most effective use of the strategy that could have killed Odors. I'll give Broken Pistol to the hide-and-seek kills, as even though that sequence was fun, it could have used a way better execution for the kills. And that's it. The Oder was released in 2018 and didn't get a sequel until 4 years later with the Oder Slenders. I'll look at that as the first kill count of March, but until then, I'm Tesla/Chelsea Rose, and this has been the parody. Thanks a lot for watching this parody. This was actually the first kill count of this year that had some sort of unprecedented delay. It was just kinda too little too late, I guess. And also, as per the promise, no new parodies will be released next week, although the week after that there will be 4. Those 4 will star of Vulture Despair Girls, which is quite the stacked parody in terms of kills and length. Thanks for watching.